Hi guys, Reaper here. Thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. I've just started recording. I've seen somebody enter into local space. I'm in a T5 Inquisitor site. It's an Anomaly which has some pretty rare stuff in this particular map I'm in, and a mower has landed. It looks like I'm going to have a fight on my hands here. I'm going to try and lock this guy down and see if I can get a tackle. I've put my tackle on the rat by accident, so let's disengage that and see if I can get a tackle on this mower. Hopefully he's a rat fit and it isn't gonna... Oh, he is doing some extreme damage. I am boosting this up. I've got my orbit set nice and close. I'm going to try and get close, but it appears as if this guy is micro warp driving, so he is very, very fast. This could be worrying. I've activated my damage control to enable me to try and see if I can get an orbit to do some kiting. Perhaps if I can kite him and keep my speed up and my angular velocity higher, I can reduce his damage. And as you can see now, he's hitting me for 0 damage. I'm orbiting him and I'm applying damage with my missiles. His shield is now slowly starting to go down. Let's see what he does next. He is closing. He is now burning towards me, and let's see if I can keep... No, he's got a web on me, so he's now webbing me. My speed is dropping right down to... Wow, well, my... Hold on, let me just get a really tight orbit to try and completely mitigate any damage. So my speed's now down to 250 or 60 70 meters a second, which means he has dual webs. This guy has 2 webs against a frigate. This is going to be a particular, depending on his fitting, this could be a very difficult fight, and at this stage I'm wondering whether I should exit, but I'm going to continue and see what we can do. He's not hitting me for tremendous damage, only when he's burning away and I'm on the approach. Even though I've got an orbit set, I'm still coming in at a more shallow angular velocity. So if I can avoid doing that, I may be able to survive long enough to take this guy out. He's a cruiser, he has a micro warp drive fit, he's going to be using a lot of capacitor, and he's running a web. He is shield boosting. I'm seeing him pull back shields after volleys, and he's doing very limited damage to myself. I have improved my skills since my other video on the Breacher Assault, which was the guide and some other PvP fights. I only had my electronic warfare skill to rank 4 on the basic skills. I've now trained advanced to 4, so my capacitor management is going to be a lot better, having or being able to use that slightly less amount of cap. So this guy keeps, I don't know what he's doing really, he keeps burning away and then coming back. I just think he's in a bit of a panic, the poor chap, but I've got to take him out because I want this site for myself. The whole reason I've come to Nullsec today for this video was to find an Inquisitor site, and for some of you guys out there that are perhaps not yet experiencing Nullsec or scout anomalies or Inquisitor sites, I could show you guys what they look like, what happens, and give you a bit of a guide. And a chap showing up for a fight is just a bonus for me really, especially being in this ship and him in that ship. Seems like he's now going down to lower shield. Looks like he's perhaps capped out, as he is now a sitting duck. And my capacitor looks to be very, very stable. I am hovering around 75% capacitor. As long as I'm within a shallow or close orbit, I'm able to boost up my capacitor. He is now burning away again. So I think my shield's going down a bit here. I'm going to get my shield booster on and my damage control as I've gone low. I think what he's doing is he's letting himself become a sitting duck. He's building his capacitor back up and he's trying to burst the micro warp drive along with the stasis web of fire. He is faster than me with the dual webs, but I don't think he's massively faster than me, maybe a couple of 100 meters a second difference. And for how long he's needing to keep that micro warp drive on to break the distance, he is capping himself out, and now it's a steady kind of cycle of him capping out, not being able to pull back the shield, and I should be able to slowly chew through his armor hull and take him out, and which will allow me to continue with this video. But this really showcases the resilience of this little breacher assault. The fact that I'm fighting against a cruiser with dual web and a micro warp drive when I have just an afterburner and a single web does really mean that this ship is fantastic in every way. And I know he's using rail guns, which are very poor for tracking, but if I were him as a pilot, I potentially would be doing a better job than this and getting more hits. But again, it's very, very difficult situation as my signature radius is so low. So let's see if we can get this guy down. He's now at almost half armor, so he's slowly being whittled down. Consistent damage, inability to manage his capacitor. He doesn't have a Nosferatu, which isn't particularly helping him in this instance. I'm just going to say good fight in local. He must now realise that he's going to go down, and I'm not going to shoot his pod. If I shoot his pod, he's going to have a swift return to station. He's going to know I'm here in this rather nice site, and he may very well just rush back here. I'm not very far from a station. I'm in one of the earliest systems in nullsec, leaving from Lone Trek. So it looks like he's now trying to get away for an exit. In fact, he's burning. He's about to leave web range, which is a worry. But I think he's capped out again just at the right time. Whew, I thought he was going to get out of web range then and just continue burning away, and that would have been annoying, having fought him for so long. Surprisingly, local hasn't filled up with people and I haven't been ganked, and there he goes. Big explosion, some nice fireworks for me. I can now focus on taking out this last ship. He had some okay named items. We'll have a look at his ship fitting in a second. I now need to start burning towards these guys and continuing with this. Okay, so we're now on the final wave of this Inquisitor site. We've had a spawn which has got some Guristas ships, which are actually elites. So that guy, he had a bounty of 285,000, so he's going to drop some good stuff. In one of my previous waves, I have fast forwarded towards the end here to try and save on some time. There was a wave of a similar size to this. One of the ships had a disruptor, so you need to be careful, and if you're not overly confident with your abilities, perhaps fit a stab or some warp stabilizing rigs. But as it goes with my ship, I am able to tank these guys fairly efficiently. I just need to make sure I'm taking out the elites first, and when we get towards the end of this mission, I'll be able to loot these elite wrecks, and there are, I believe, 4 containers in space which have all of the goodies or the reward for completing such an anomaly here in nullsec. So I'm focusing on the smaller ships. Always take out the smaller ships first. They're more likely to web you down, and there are very few ships in this that are causing me some problems. However, if I'm webbed, these caracals might be able to put some good damage on me. Sorry about that. Okay, so the chap has asked me to pod him. I've said in local safety first. I don't really want him rushing back. He is trying to, I'm sure, approach me in his pod, or he'll be back. So some of the last ships now starting to go down, taking up this last cormorant. Get him down, I can focus on these caracals. Again, very little risk with this type of ship against these size ships now. I did have on that second to last wave a bit of a close call, you could say. I was warp disrupted and I think triple webbed, and those caracals were beating me down, but again I was able to fire off my damage control, which for 18 seconds vastly boosts my resistances, and it gave me enough time to take out 2 of the ships webbing me, which allowed me to increase my speed tanking enough to keep me alive in that fight. For that second wave might be worthwhile from the previous wave, just making some distance, so when the next spawn comes they're not right on top of you and you're able to then dictate the fight. So we're looking at the kill report here. Yeah, he had a named micro warp drive, some faction rails, a tracking computer, which is ironic as he wasn't tracking me for anything, and that was obviously using a lot of his capacitor. So yeah, an interesting fit, and I think the ship done extremely well considering. Some people will think that you should have the micro warp drive. I personally think on this ship you're better off or better suited not using that micro warp drive until you've got the right skills. If my signature radius was that much larger during this engagement, the fact that I was dual webbed means my speed wouldn't have been high anyway, and that extra signature radius could have made this fight a different outcome. And for me to now be able to take control of this site means I'll get the rewards at the end, and I'm just hoping that local isn't going to fill up, and chap's friend, or the chap's going to come back with his friends, perhaps some reinforcements. So we've got some elite wrecks, as you can see. This Anomaly, this Inquisitor site, is not too dissimilar from a storyline mission. We're really having a mixture of normal ships and elite ships. Okay, so I've got some nice loot there. From that one, we had a Caldari Navy reactive shield hardener, which might sell for a few million-isk. And with this guy almost down, hopefully that's the last wave. Yeah, I can't see anything spawning here. Looks to be pretty clear. So I'm going to approach these containers, which will have the goodies in. The mechanics of this site, by the way, for anybody seeing this or experiencing this via this video for the first time, you are unable to open these containers and take the loot until all NPC rats have been taken out. So my goodness, we have some Tech 2 rigs here, which are used to create the components used from salvage parts, and then I'll be able to either use them for myself or put those on the market. So there look to be a reasonable amount of value in that particular container, and there are still 3 other containers to go. So I need to burn over to these containers Oh, we've got some metal scraps in this one, nothing special. I will take it anyway, just to mark it as looted. And we are going to go to the next one. I'd like to perhaps hurry, not mess around with this, get the loot in case I need to get out fast. But wow, we've got two Tech 3 missile damage rigs in that one. So they will be locked behind tech level 8. I won't be able to manufacture those till tech level 8, but if I am to save those blueprints until I hit tech level 8 in a number of weeks, if I'm to build those components, they will sell for vast amounts of ISK. Could be hundreds and hundreds of millions worth of ISK from that one blueprint alone, which had the 2 runs on it. And just approaching the last one here now. No, I've got everything.